So anytime any parties come to consular court is only using Moroccan law. So let's say the United States of America has a dispute with the Empire of Morocco or a Moroccan. When they get to consular court, guess what? The only thing they can invoke? Only Moroccan law or international law. That's it. They cannot invoke American laws. Their codes and statutes are null and void when it comes to the consular court. And consular court is binding in terms of Moroccan law. It's only about Moroccan law, nothing else. Obviously, international law, but international law is applicable only to settle disputes between two states, because in the absence of Moroccan law, you can always fall back on international law to settle disputes as well, you see? So in the absence of Moroccan law, international law acts like almost like a safety net to cover any voids that the Empire of Morocco doesn't have in terms of laws on its books, you see?
Okay. Okay. So again, consular court is for the foreigners and MOORs when if there's a dispute, but Supreme Court is for Moroccans only. Is that correct?
That's correct. So your Supreme Court, which is an internal court, it's a domestic court. That court can only be motioned and petitioned only by Moroccans. So it's a Moroccan on Moroccan dispute. So it's Moroccan nationals versus Moroccan nationals, or if two Moroccan internal states have a dispute with each other, they can settle it at the Supreme Court. But it's only for Moroccan disputes.
Okay. So
that's it.
How do you suppose we deal with these people these so-called leaders who have misguided us? There's been other MOORs who talked about this, and I like your opinion. How do we handle, or how do we deal with these leaders who misguided us? That's my question.
Well, that's an excellent question. In law, they're basically referred to as COINTELPRO, counterintelligence program. When you're dealing with COINTELPRO personnel, first of all, everybody's innocent till proven guilty.
Okay.
You see, the only way to stop a sellout, i.e. someone who's working for the FBI or the CIA or someone that's just an Uncle Tom, etc., well, it's one thing to say that, but the question is what can you do about it? Well, first you have to talk law. Well, if you think these people are doing something wrong, then what laws are they breaching? You see, the MOORs for decades have been trying to call out these sellouts, this COINTELPRO, but I would ask Black people or ask MOORs, where's our laws that talks about propaganda, right? Where's our laws for what's coming known as the RICO Act? All the people know about the RICO for organized crime or organized criminal organizations. You see, the Empire of Morocco will draft laws. And when we draft laws through our House of Representatives, through the matriarchal council of the legislative branch, will draft laws that says it is a crime to spew propaganda. It is a crime to be a part of the COINTELPRO on behalf of the FBI. It is a crime to be a part of COINTELPRO of the CIA. It is a crime to go out here and keep teaching people miseducation. You see, the Empire of Morocco, when it drafts laws, now you can say, okay, those people that you're referring to with these allegations, you can say these allegations are based on what? Laws. See, it's the laws that will stop copper-colored people from undermining other copper-colored people. See, it's a dispute. If you have a civil or criminal dispute with someone, what do you have to do? Well, first you have to say, well, they breached my rights or they violated the law. They broke the law. Okay, where's the law? We have been trying to stop these sellouts for decades, and we didn't know how to stop them. And the reason why is because we as a people didn't have our own governments. Mm-hmm. When you have your own government, now you can pass bills into law and list them under civil acts or criminal acts. Mm-hmm. So when we act these laws and we send cease and desist notices to people and they don't stop, guess what's coming next? Indictment papers. When they get indicted, they'll come in and they'll be read their rights and they'll be told what laws that they breached. And after that, they're entitled to representation, but we're going to move forward with the case. They're going to be defendant. They're going to be respondent. This is how you stop it. Mm-hmm. All that talking and talking, look, that's Mickey Mouse. We got to stop wasting our time. People will act right when they know they're going to end up getting indicted for organized crime or getting indicted because they're out there spewing lies that hurt the people. Mm-hmm. And that's how we're going to put an end to it. Okay. We're going to put their behinds in jail, bottom line.
Okay. Thank you for the answer. I have a question going back to procedure.
Well, yeah, the French had a huge responsibility to work side by side with the Moors. The question you have to ask yourself, well, why did the Sultan allow France to have the pen to act like a de facto Sultan? Because there was always a Sultan in place, a de jure Sultan, meaning the head of state. But the head of state coming on the Sultan allowed France to be a representative on behalf of the Sultan. Almost like an ambassador of sorts, mm-hmm. right? To go out and actually use the pen as if France was the Sultan, mm-hmm. right? France could literally sign treaties,
right,
on behalf of the Sultan. Mm-hmm. But France got drunk off that power. See, France, a lot of people don't know the history of France. France, after the Moors got colonized and ran out of offices in Europe, because it happened there first. France turned around and started controlling Europe for years. Mm. The Pope had France as their protector. France was protecting Italy all the way from France, they call the Franks, right? All the way from France, right, in the shore of what they call the Atlantic Ocean, all the way over to Italy. France was controlling all that territory. Wow. On behalf of the Pope. See, France was the first territory to create what they call the state, a national state, where all the inhabitants, all the subjects, all the clans and tribes within a territory would pay allegiance to the national state. Regardless of what language you spoke, no matter what you call yourself, your tribe, no matter what you call your clan, the mother state was called France. And France was the first in history to create a national state and say everybody within it had to pledge allegiance to the national state. They were getting rid of the monarchy slowly but surely. Okay. So the sultans had already been working with France for years because France was creating what's called an organized dual society, reining in all the clans and the tribes and putting them under one constitution called the nation state, right? The national state. So the Sultan saw France as being kind of a trendy state. And the Sultan said, okay, France, help me to create an organized dual society of the Empire of Morocco. In other words, for lack of a better term, I want people to understand what I'm saying. The Sultan brought in France almost like a business consultant.
Okay, yeah.
The Sultan brought in France almost like a trustee to oversee the empire for the Sultan because France had experience.
Right.
Right? Got remember now, France, Napoleon was controlling even Egypt, etc.
Right.
You know, they say Napoleon blew off the nose of the Sphinx and all that. Man, France was running huge territories.
Right.
So the Sultan partnered up with France and said, okay, You like to govern things. Okay, I'm gonna help me to govern. Let me compare it to like a company. See, there's the founder, and then there's the CEO.
Right.
The founder establishes the company, and then the founder brings in a CEO to manage the company.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you see some people say I'm the founder and CEO.
Mm-hmm.
Those are two separate titles in a company. See, the Sultan was the founder.
Mm-hmm.
France was the CEO.
Yeah. Okay.
But the way the Sultan wrote the Treaty of Fez of 1912, he gave France too much power. And France turned around and took over the founder, told the founder, sit down and don't say nothing. The CEO took over. It was a coup d'etat.
Right.
France did a coup d'etat against the Empire of Morocco. France is known for coup d'etats. Right now, France is like on their fifth republic. They had Republic 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They keep changing over governments. They used to have a king. Now they have a president.
Right.
They just keep changing governments because of coup d'etats. And they did it to the Sultan too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So France was supposed to work with the Moors. That's what the Sultan wanted. But France turned around and partnered up with the Europeans, thinking they could handle it by themselves. And they forgot about the purpose and intent of the Act Aldus Ayres of 1906 was to bring the Moors in to act as referees to break up the disputes of the European states. They're like, we really don't need the Moors. We can figure out how to get along.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? They've been fighting to this very day, the year 2024.
Right.
Year 2024, the European states are still fighting each other. All because they didn't want to wake up the Moors and put the Moors back in charge because they spent so many years trying to subjugate us. They just could not stomach the thought of putting the Moors back in the sovereign position to be in the #1 position again.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a little bit of history about France.
Right.